Hey, how y'all doing? Okay, that's good. That's good. So we are back for another review of Tyler Sisters. Um, last two episodes I was out of town. I missed it, so there's no point in catching up. So we're just gonna go from here. All right. So I think we're at episode 15 or 16. It'll be correct somewhere in the title. Um, so Jasmine, Gary, and their attorney, which is the guy that Andy came across at the bar the night before. They're all sitting in the conference room, and Jasmine is basically she turned up to the max. She's like, don't act like you don't know why we're here, Andy. Let's talk about you sleeping with my husband. Blah blah blah. She's just doing a whole lot at this point. And then she tries to. Gary looks uncomfortable, basically like, "Oh, you're forcing me to be here because you're gonna take out my money if I'm not here saying what you need me to say." Type situation. So she's trying to force Gary to say, stuff about Andy. And because he won't say it, Jasmine jumps in and she says, "Hey, Gary said him and Andy basically had a plan to. She was going to defend me and basically throw my case so that he could still keep most of his money." And she agreed. And Andy's just saying, "No, he did offer that to me, but I never agreed to do that." So Jasmine's just trying to cut Andy down. She wants her discharge. She wants everything to happen while her and Gary, who also has a part in the situation, gets off scot-free and they get to work it out and go to marriage counseling. Which, Gary, you may be getting the worst of the deal because you get to be stuck with Jasmine forever, but that's neither here nor there. What else happened in this episode? The lawyers are there, and Jasmine lawyer lets us know, like, hey, the situation is pretty bad for your company, so we're just going to ask for a $10 million settlement to make all of this go away. Andy's boss is like, "No, I'm not doing that," whatever, whatnot. So he's giving them to the end of the week to get back to them with an answer. The other partners in the law firm are also there, and they're telling Andy's boss, like, "Hey, this was your pet project, so you need to figure it out. You need to fire her. You need to get rid of her." So they leave as well, and it's just Andy, her boss, and Andy's boss finds it admirable that she didn't decide to snitch on him because he also had a part in this as well. Andy came to him and told him the situation, and he basically forced her to stay in the situation so that he could get the money off the lawsuit, off the divorce claim. So he's surprised that Andy did not, throw him under the bus. Yeah, you get to keep your job, but she doesn't. Wonderful. That seems fair. Not really. We come back from break and we see that Karen can't bring herself to go back into the shop because the lady killed herself there. So she's just sitting down in the car for hours and hours, and she can't stand the fact of she having to go back in there. That's what Karen's struggling with this episode. Andy's walking to her car, and Jasmine's lawyer tells her that he was only doing his job and that she's too fine to be somebody's side chick. He also says that was supposed to be some sort of compliment or another. Don't know why, but okay, dude. If you think that's a compliment, good luck. That she was too fine to be somebody's side piece, and he also offers her a job to come work for his firm. And then he tells her, let's talk about it over drinks, but she ain't really with it, which makes sense because why do I want to have drinks with the person that's about to help ruin my life? Don't really know, but I don't know what that's about. That whole thing is weird. Like, yeah, I don't know. A whole lot didn't go down this episode, just so we're clear. Yeah, a whole lot didn't happen. It wasn't really a whole lot to write home about, but we're going to finish out the episode. Sabrina gets even with Maurice because for telling Calvin about the situation, the whole setup that happened a couple episodes ago. She decides that her way of getting back at Maurice is giving his number out to the dude that she met at the club last night. He happens to see her at the bank, and he's just saying, kind of throwing his money and his weight around, like, "Hey, catch this put this $800,000 check in my house. I'm about to buy a house. It's a great house. It's a mansion. Da 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 da." And he wants her to be moved by that, and she is not impressed, which makes it. She works at a bank, so she sees large sums of money on a daily basis. So that may not have been the way to impress her, but I don't think she wants to be impressed by this musclehead guy anyway. So yeah, so she gives him her number, and Mark's like, "Well, dang, you moved on fast." And she was like, "Yeah, I moved on. Yeah, sure." And Maurice's phone rings, and it's the same musclehead guy from the bank. And he doesn't answer, but he was like, okay, are we good now? Because you kind of got me back. And I guess they squashed it after that. Dani, the side chick, went to the bathroom to take the paternity test. Zach's side chick, or whoever he cheated on Karen with. She went to the bathroom to take a paternity test. Well, she's been in there for 30 minutes. It don't take that long to pee on the stick, sis. What are you doing? So Dani decided to go in the bathroom to check on her, or to see what's happening, because she's been in there for a long time. And Dani gonna get to the bottom of it no matter what. Dani's questioning her, and like, what's happening? The timelines don't add up. Like, what's the problem? And she admits that she's really not pregnant and that she loves Zach. So side booty fell in love with Zach, even though they only had sex one time, and they mutually agreed that it was a hit and quit situation, and she is somehow in love. Yeah, me too. I'm confused. That gives me a little stalker vibes, but we'll see how that plays out. Yeah, her name is Helena, Yelena, whatever her name is. She admits that she fell in love with Zach, and I guess she's still upset about the fact that Zach is still going back and forth with Karen, but she loves Zach as well. This is getting crazy. All right, so Andy tells Karen that she's lost her job, and Karen tells her that you need to fight for it. You need to prove yourself. You need to go after what you want in this situation. And I don't remember Andy kind of agreeing with Karen, but you only have time at this point. If you got fired, all you can do is kind of fight to prove that you belong at the firm. I don't know how that's gonna work that you're already fired, but I don't know what you're gonna do, Andy girl. I don't got no advice on that one. But the preacher dude, I can never remember his name, maybe one day, but the preacher guy shows up at Karen's with the cleaning crew, basically to make things right after he got into that fight with Zach. And he's just overwhelmed at everything that's going on. He doesn't want to be at his house. He's upset, which makes sense. He don't know what to tell the kids now that their mom's gone. All understandable. But he's sitting at Karen's table and they're talking, and he asks her, do you have anything hard to drink? And she's about to give it to him. He don't really know what to ask for, and this is because he's been sober for 7 years. So he is so upset about his current situation that he's about to blow 7 years worth of sobriety in this moment. And Karen is like, no, I'm not doing that. Like, I'm not going to help you, throw away everything you've worked so hard for as far as your sobriety is concerned. So she takes the liquor away from him and, tells him that you need to find a better way to cope with this. This alcohol ain't going to do nothing for you. And they're still in the conversation. And we find out that the kids that him and his now deceased wife have are probably not his. I kind of get the fact. He kind of insinuated that the kids aren't even his, so they are with the wife's family. And that's the wife's family is eventually going to end up getting custody. So this is getting more complex as well. That is interesting because all before this is my kids. Now we find out that the kids probably aren't his. I don't know if that's because his wife cheated on him and they're a product of her cheating with the guy, or if she came into the relationship with the kids. That'll be interesting to see because at this point it seems like he has a bond with the children. So, and if her family thinks you were sleeping with Karen this whole time, they're not going to let you see the kids. So that will be an interesting dynamic to watch that unfold also. We move on to the final scene, and some lady knocks on the door. I don't remember if it was her assistant or Jasmine. I couldn't tell which wig it was, but it was some lady knocking on the door with a very large laundry basket, like the ones that are industrial size, like the ones that are at the laundromat. Definitely random. And she rolls inside the room, and out pops Gary from the laundry basket. Ooh, child, I'm so sick of Gary and his fiasco that I'm tired. But we're gonna play this thing out. Don't know how many more episodes are left in this season, but that is my review of episode 15 or 16 of Tyler Perry's SISTAS, and I will probably catch you in the next one. Peace.